Welcome to Directly to You. It's episode 192 of Directly to You, and Directly to You is our podcast. Who are we? We're fanatixfour. I'm AJ of fanatixfour. I'm joined by Parker, also of fanatixfour. Also, I wasn't here last week, but I'm here this week. So I'm here to tell you all the housekeeping stuff you need to know. Like subscribe on youtube.com/fanatixfour. Follow on twitch.tv/fanatixfour, or become a member on youtube.com/fanatixfour, or subscribe on twitch.tv/fanatixfour for $4.99. You know, I flipped it. Switch it up. Keep you on your toes. You don't even gotta pay any money to become a member. Well, you have to pay money to become a member on YouTube. I don't know if Susan wants to, throw out money like Jeffy Bezos. I don't know if she's paid like that, but Jeff though, he's paid. So you can link your Amazon Prime if you have it with your Twitch account. You get a Prime Gaming sub every month. You have to renew it. You go to Twitch. You go to our Twitch and you freaking
you're gone a week. What happened to you, man?
I told you I'm terrible at this.
You're almost as bad as me.
You got to renew it manually. That's the labor that Jeffy B imposes on everybody. If you want the free sub, you got to remember to do it every month. In exchange for that, you get loyalty badges, you get emotes, you get free Switch keys from time to time. You get access to our supporters on Discord, where we record this very show. And you can be the peanut gallery and laugh at me when I mess things up.
Did you mention the option of just monthly coming by each of our houses, just putting $5
just
under our doormat?
No, I didn't mention that. I didn't know we were rolling that out yet. I thought that was.
That's next month. Oh, sorry.
That's a relaunch announcement. Spoilers. No, but yeah, you do that, or you could just hang out in the Discord, which is free, and you go on the link and you just talk, and then you level up in the whole, loyalty ranking thing. I don't know what they call it, but you get ranked up in the Discord, and you can listen for the free. You become like an active member or whatever. You get that role in the Discord, and then you can just listen to the podcast when we record the podcast for free, and also hang out with the community. It's also good for that. We play video games here also. What video games are you playing?
Yeah, man. Let's see. First up, like you said, you were gone last week, and we had Falcon on, and we talked about F-Zero, and I said I played a little bit of F-Zero prior to him coming on, just to kind of try to get a little bit of feel for it. So yeah, I played a little bit more of that this week. Not a ton, but some. In any case, I found out I am bad at it. I
thought you already knew that. You said you were going to be bad at it.
I reinvigorated the knowledge that I know. But yeah, I enjoy it. And like doing the time trials and stuff, I almost want to say doing the time trials is maybe more fun than doing the actual races. Maybe that's just because you can control more with the time trials. So like, that's a given, but with it's just interesting with the races. There's so many other drivers and like spots like let's see, what's the level? Port I don't know. It's one of the ones.
Port City or something.
Port City, maybe. I don't know. It's one in that first, the Jack.
Yeah,
Cup.
I heard of the port.
And there's a part where it's just like a straightaway with some boost pads and stuff. And when you're by yourself, it's like, okay, I got this. You just got to stay in the middle. And that's all you need to think about. But then when there's other people there, it's like, I happen to be going just a little faster than the person right in front of me. So I'm just like,
and Port Town.
You got it. So, but yeah, it's fun. I did not understand how to do Death Race. And then Falcon explained to me how to do Death Race. And I'm still bad at it. And I haven't even won one of it. I haven't won it once, but it's fun to give it a go anyway. And so all that said, playing a little bit of F-Zero X, and probably not going to play it too much, but I could envision if a new F-Zero came out and was just the most standard F-Zero experience, but modern or whatever, I think I'd play it a good bit. Is what I'm learning about it. So like basically all that said, I would still love it for them to like really expand the franchise like we've talked about lots of times. But even if it was just like kind of straight across the board, like here's F-Zero but modern, like I think I would have a really good time with it. So yeah, F-Zero. So that's one of the things I've been playing. What about you?
Have I played anything? And Mario Kart.
Right.
I think I just played Smash and Mario Kart. I didn't even play. I think I'm done with Arceus. I'm over it.
Yep.
Even for stream, it's boring for stream now.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate. But yeah, Smash. I went to the tournament. Tournament was so terrible.
Oh
It
no!
was not
In
good.
what way?
And like logistically, for the most part, we got to the tournament like a couple minutes late, so they double DQ'd us out of doubles, which is dumb because our match didn't even start. But they DQ'd us out of the first match. And then some tournaments, or most that I've been in anyway, if you're late for one match, they'll DQ you for that match, and then you go to loser's bracket. But they just double DQ'd us. And then we went up because you have to find your freaking pool captain. You have to find the guy to be like, oh, this is your match. And then this is the setup that you go to. And then you play the video game. And we went up to the main TO, and we were like, we need to find our pool captain. He's like, oh, okay, well, there's this guy, he'll help you find your pool captain. And the guy that he told us to go to was like, oh, it's the guy in the red shirt. We went to the guy that he pointed at in the red shirt. The guy in the red shirt that he pointed at wasn't the right guy in the red shirt.
Oh no.
And he took us back to the guy that pointed at the guy in the red shirt, and then said, yo, I'm not their pool captain, you got to show them the pool captain. He's like, oh, it's the other guy in the red shirt. We went up to the other guy in the red shirt, and he brought us to a different guy in the red shirt who actually was our pool captain.
My goodness.
And then he was like, man, I called you guys 3 times. You know, I whispered your name into the wind and you didn't come. So I don't know what to tell you. You're DQ'd. And that was at 10 a.m. We woke up at like 8 to get ready to go to this tournament at 10 a.m. And my match didn't start until 6 p.m. So my singles bracket match didn't start until 6 p.m. Luckily, Sierra of twitch.tv/Sierra Plus Ultra was there with us. And she had her car. So we went back to Lee's place and we played the video game. And, you know, they ate Thai food.
Yeah, right.
So we went back to the tournament for my bracket at 6. And that sucked for a whole nother reason. I get to my pool. I go to my match. I fight this dude. I'm not going to say his name because he's cringe, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to out people. But I'm playing this game. He has his whole posse. He has like cheerleaders in the background, and I'm fighting him. He's an Inkling player. He'll grab me, and then whenever he grabbed me and would up throw me, because that's Inkling's only real kill confirm is they grab you, they throw you up in the air, and then they up air you. Every time he grabbed and threw me, this is him. Yeah. Up throw. Yeah. Like freaking losing his mind in the chair next to me. And then his whole posse in the background is like, yeah, you got him. You got up smash. And I'm like, huh? Like, is this allowed? They're allowed to do this?
Yeah, man.
So I did not win that match.
Yeah.
And then the next match was sort of the same. It was unfortunate, but I know for next time I gotta bring headphones. I gotta be ready for people to be physically degenerates next to me. But it was frustrating to have to deal with that, and like losing is whatever, but losing because of somebody like you know, like having and like needing to be exercised next to me is OD. Like,
man, that's so frustrating. Yeah, I mean, and also, you know, it feels like the kind of thing where you've said this before, but just like being familiar with and getting used to like
the culture of being
exactly, like that's just a different thing. I mean, same goes for like you can be the best guitarist in the world at home and then go and play a concert in front, you know, at a bar or something where you can't hear right. Like as soon as the circumstances are different, it's like
had audio. None of that setups, except for if you were on stream,
legitimately weird.
Only 2 possible set, like 2 matches concurrently. Yeah. They had 2 different streams. You could only be one of those 2, and you have audio. The rest of the matches, no audio.
Oh man, which I mean, I definitely remember you saying it multiple times earlier on that like you use audio for cues.
I use the audio and
a lot.
The rumble to parry and to, like, time for combos and stuff like that. So yeah, it was very unfortunate. But again, I know next time I got to bring headphones.
I'm sorry that's lame. But I mean, at least got to hang out with Lee and Sierra and
that
stuff.
Was the only that was the plus. It was like just hanging out, but I didn't have to spend $80 to do that.
Right.
You know, like very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But hopefully the next tournament we go to is better ran.
Yeah.
That tournament was not very well ran, unfortunately.
No, I did not go to any tournaments. Let's see, but I also I played.
Your friends hang with you for free? Yes.
Alec, do yours just demand cookies? Is that the price you got to pay?
No, I got to pay them $5 each.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. Under their doorstep. Doormat. Let's see. Other game that I played, I played a little bit of The Ramp, which is a game, same, it's CodeSync that publishes, who are the same people that did Fogs and Cake Bash and Islanders, which Fogs and Cake Bash are great. Played a good bit of them, but man, Islanders
wasn't
so
that
good.
Like it was like in your top 5?
I think it was in my top 5. I'm pretty sure. It's one, like, no joke. I, on a weekly basis, I'm like, maybe I should start up a new Islanders island. And I'm like, I don't have time. Like, because I just would get sucked into it. And it's, man, it was just a good time. So I played The Ramp, which is like a skateboarding game, which game might not be the right word, because as you pointed out in their marketing, it calls it a digital toy, which I feel like is more appropriate. So it's I don't know, kind of different experience. There's only 4 different levels, and you're just a little character, and you skateboard around half pipe and pool and something else. And so like 4 different little levels that just are like a pretty small.
Skateboarding like sandbox in the most traditional sense, not a sandbox in the like what Mario Odyssey has driven people to think of a sandbox, but like a literal sandbox.
Yeah,
like here's a castle, a bucket. Like that's
yeah. So you just do tricks and stuff. It's what was it? I was gonna say something, but I don't remember exactly what it was. So never mind. But yeah, I think like Ashley was like, so it's kind of like a fidget spinner sort of thing. Like it occupies a similar kind of space as that, where it's like you wouldn't play it for more than like 10-15 minutes at a time or whatever.
Super low impact.
Yeah, to just kind of mess around with a little bit. Yeah. So it does that. It's not, for those reasons, it's not my favorite skateboard game on Switch, but check it out if that kind of thing sounds like fun to you. But we love the people over at CodeSync. They're great. Jack is our friend over there, and he does a real good job. So if that doesn't interest you, remember about Islanders and go check that one.
Or Fogs.
Or Fogs.
Is my favorite.
Fogs is very fun. Yeah. It's just so silly and a lot of good times. Yeah. Then again, we've also played a decent amount of Cake Bash with just like having friends over or whatever. It's a good one because like it's pretty janky in a way that that just levels the playing field a little bit. Like, because even if you're good at it, there's a bunch of times where it's like doesn't quite do exactly what you'd expect. And against the AI, that's frustrating. But against other people, totally fine, because everybody's just like, somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing could do fairly well. And so it's been fun for those reasons. So yep, good games. So yeah, that's what we've been playing. Other than, I guess now we can go ahead and get to the main
Mario
topic.
Kart,
the bread and butter.
Did you play any of the new courses?
I did. Played them last night at like right after they came out. We played through all of them. Played through the 2 Grand Prix, and then I went back and played a couple of the levels just like in time trials to like try to suss out any like shortcuts that I might have missed or something along those lines. So just check them out a little bit more. But yeah, what do you think so far?
I played, I want to say half of them.
Okay.
Because it's coming out tomorrow it's supposed to come out tomorrow relative to when this goes up. So I think we're allowed to talk about it. We're allowed to talk about it, right? I don't know.
I can't remember what it is that you're talking. Oh, yeah. Yes.
We're doing a thing with Xeon.
Yeah.
And I came out of that and I saw Bob was streaming and he was playing it with Dan and Wood and Jackson. And I went in Bob's chat and I was like, let me in. And then I played with them, and then we did 2 Grand Prix, or Grand Prix like online. It's like you do 4 races or whatever. And in those 4 races, or 8 altogether, some of them we played older courses. Some of the races same course multiple times. So
oh yeah, online and Grand Prix isn't the same. It's not just the 4 sequential.
It's not like pick this
just,
thing and
it's more like playing a versus
it's a democracy.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I couldn't really get a feel for the courses in that environment. But I mean, they seem neat. I don't like most of my exposure to these courses is people complaining about the courses because the grass texture is not good enough.
Right. So I'll give some thoughts on the specific courses real quick, and more just I guess how they turned out in this game as far as functionality goes, more so than I don't care about the grass texture or any of that stuff. Like, yeah, sure, it's great when things have nicer grass textures, I guess, but it doesn't impact my enjoyment of it whatsoever. I will say most of these felt kind of, I think the transition from Tour to Mario Kart 8, there's kind of just like a base level, I'm trying to think of the right words to say this, but like different philosophy in the purpose of levels in Tour versus in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So a lot of them feel just a little bit short, or just a little bit like they're missing something. And I it's not that surprising, because I think like the aspect ratio being, or not the aspect ratio, but the, portrait versus landscape mode, that kind of thing, like that changes some of those things. So there's just a whole bunch of stuff there. But I will say most of these levels, I would say at least are kind of mid. There's 1 or 2 that I think are kind of not that particularly great. There's 2 that I think were super. The Ninja Hideout level is like probably one of my favorite levels in the whole game now.
Yeah, I played that one. That one's cool.
Yeah, that one, like it having the multiple different paths and stuff, like I'm very here for that. So but more specifically, Paris Promenade was like fine. I think it looked really nice. Like I liked the aesthetic of it a lot. But it felt a little bit easy to get lost, sort of functionally, and just like everything kind of looks kind of similar. So that was a bit of a thing. Some other standout ones. Choco Mountain was. Did you play that one?
Play that one though.
Okay. It's weird because it is very similar to the N64 one, but it feels more different. And the N64 one, if you go back and look at it, like I watched I think Game Explain put up a video of like the 2 levels, each of the levels side by side, and that was when I was like, man, if they just did it faithfully to the original, it would be boring, like really boring. And it's like most of these levels are still kind of boring. Like they didn't add that much pizzazz to them. But when you go back and look at the originals, like they are better than the originals, other than maybe in certain kinds of feel or something like that. So yeah, generally speaking, I think I'm having a good time with it. I'm curious to see what other levels get added, which is, spoiler alert, what we're going to be talking about for a good chunk of time here in a minute. But yeah, even Ashley was also saying like, yeah, I mean, I wasn't in love with those levels. Like they were fine.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just more for me. Well, granted, I'm not the hugest Mario Kart fan. I like Mario Kart. It's fine. It's fun to play every once in a while. And I think that them adding any new course is enough for me to like want to play it more, because they're new courses that I don't know and haven't seen 1,000 times. But for the most part, that's the extent of what I want. It's like, oh, okay, this is new scenery. Cool, I'll play. Like I'm not looking for the most intricate course. I'm not looking to be blown away by any particular aspect about it. I just want different courses to play the video game. And from what I played, they do that, so it's fine.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the one I listened to Alex and Felix over on Nintendo Life had a discussion talking about the levels, and one of the things they kept bringing up was the fact that these levels feel a lot shorter, or that they feel short. True. Which for some of them at least I'll agree, but I think some of it is a little bit kind of just to to be because they mentioned a couple of times that they were playing on like 200cc or 150cc or something like that. I think in general, Mario Kart 8 is so much faster of a game, even at lower speeds, because like every jump is a boost and every boost is a boost. And every time you fly, that's a boost. So like boosts are happening all over the place. So just in general, even on lower speeds, just more opportunities to get the level over with faster are happening to where like, if I think back to is so, I would love to see Wario Coliseum from Double Dash come to this game. That level only typically has 2 laps in it. And if I think about that level now as having only 2 laps, I feel like at this point it would just have 3 laps anyway, because we'd go through it so much quicker, something like that, So it's interesting. Yeah. The one thing that I'll say about these levels is just kind of feel wise is I think Mario Kart 8 base levels, like the new levels especially, feel more like an adventure in some regards. Like there's sort of a story being told through the things that are happening in the progression of different, like you're going in this section and then there's this next section and then there's another section after that. And something about like the progression feels like different areas of the same level are more different from each other, even in simple levels like the, I don't know, Mario Circuit or something like that. It feels a little bit more like different sections are unique, and more of these levels so far feel like all of their sections are pretty similar to each other.
Yeah.
But still, it's just fun to play. So like, I don't really care that much. I'll play more of it and like, try to get gold star or gold medal 3 stars on 200cc, see how I fare with that. Don't have high expectations for a hot minute for myself, but I don't know. Yeah, it's fun.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's Mario Kart and that is enough. IMO.
Yep. So that said, let's take a look at we can kind of figure out on the fly exactly how we want to do this, but I've got a spreadsheet that our good friend Mark made, or Merc in Discord, that has every single course and from which games that it's in, and also where they have returned in new games. So I'm gonna share my screen. Let's see here. Share screen. And yes.
There it is.
There it is. It always tries to show this little top bar thing. Get it out of here. Okay, whatever. We'll do that. There we go. Fixed it. Kind of. Movie there. Okay, so what I've got on the left-hand side is a spreadsheet, which is pretty much, that's AJ's dream. He just wants to build spreadsheets till cows come home from their moo meadows.
Everybody knows that about me.
So we've got each of these games. So like these are all the levels from Super, and I've filtered out the ones that are already in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So so these are only going to show us these other ones. And then we'll just have those. And then on this side, I wanted to have pictures for them in case we didn't remember what was what.
Yep.
And that kind of thing. So I will say there are some of these games that I don't know particularly well. Like I've never played Mario Kart Super Circuit and never played Mario Kart DS. So
I played. See, the thing about it is like I've played every Mario Kart game, excluding like Japan only arcade ones or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But like the only ones that I know at any real level is the ones in Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And I mean to some extent 64, but even that, it's like I'll mostly play Mario Kart 64 for block for it, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Yeah, I mean, like, so I'm pretty intimately familiar with Double Dash, Wii, and to a lesser extent 7. Like I played a good amount of 7, but I know that I'm not as intimate with it just because like I tweeted something about levels and stuff and like, which ones do you guys want to see? And somebody mentioned a level from Mario Kart 7 and I had to look it up and I was like, oh, I totally remember that one now, but it never would have just like come to mind outside of that. So, it's lower on that tier list of games for me. But and I've played Mario Kart 64 some, but I don't think I've ever played all of it. Like I don't think I've played every single level. So yeah. Yeah, it'll just be interesting. Oh, this isn't loading the whole page. Whatever, we'll figure it out. All right, first up, Super Mario Kart. This one's gonna be either really easy or really hard, just because like I don't know these levels quite as well. So yeah, I I'm probably gonna cheat and say ones that I've seen come back in other games. You know, so like I know.
Well, are there any that hold on? What are the ones that haven't come back, if there are any of those?
So that have like never come back at all?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it looks like Bowser's Castle 1 has never come back.
I would pick that.
Yep.
That's one I would pick.
Okay. So I'm going to put F4 in our thing. Okay. Which that one looks like that, I guess. Which, I mean, they've done a pretty good job in the past of taking even the SNES ones that are pretty boring and making them be interesting
to them to make
exactly.
And that's why I would pick that.
Yep.
If it never came back.
Yep. So yeah, good choice. That's fun,
especially for ones that like I'm not super familiar with anyway. So it's not like I really want to see this course come back. You know, it's like the only ones that are memorable to me on any level like that are the Rainbow Roads.
Right. Yeah.
So I would say like if there's a Rainbow Road in a game that's not in Mario Kart 8 right now, I think it should probably be in the game.
Yeah, somebody maybe it was Stealth on Twitter pointed out that the like the blue shell, they call it the spiny tour or whatever, not tour, cup, that's going to be coming, the like last one should be 4 different Rainbow Roads, and I think that would be so good. Just like have just a bunch of Rainbow Roads all in one thing. Like, yeah, I'm all here for it.
Yeah, I'd be down.
As a second one, so I'd say, yeah, if we're picking like 3 from these, I do want to pick I think it's this Ghost Valley one that I particularly like. Or maybe there's one that is actually in tour that's pretty good, and they did a good job with in tour. I think it's Ghost Valley 1 actually. So I don't know. It could either I'd go either way. One of these 2 Ghost Valleys that are in here, either the one that came to tour or the one that was on Mario Kart Wii that I liked on Mario Kart Wii. I'll call that alt. And then one more from these ones that we don't have very strong opinions on. I guess we could pick another one, like you said, that's never come back.
Yeah. Are there? Which ones have never?
Koopa Beach. Oh, I take back what I said about the Ghost Valleys. Let's continue that logic. Ghost Valley 3 has never come back. So
there we go.
We're going to say that one because I've never played it. So I like the aesthetic of those. They're fun. But yeah, if that's never come back, then there you go. Nice. And then the other ones that have never come back are, let's see, we've got one Bowser's Castle. There's Koopa Beach, another Bowser's Castle, and Mario Circuit 4. Between those, give us your pick.
Koopa Beach, I guess.
Koopa Beach. All right. It's about to start getting more interesting because we actually know what we're talking about now. Okay, so Mario Kart 64. These are pretty. I think Wario Stadium 64 looks like the only one that's never come back before.
Yeah, we already have Wario.
Yeah.
What is the Wario course that's in the freaking like dirt bike situation?
I don't remember what that one's called. Maybe it's called, I think it's called Wario Stadium. I think there's just a bunch of those.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm fine with not having another one of those specifically. So yeah, some other ones. Let's see. There's that one's already in here.
Moo Farm.
I think that's already. Is that different from Moo Meadow?
I don't know.
It is.
Yeah,
it is different.
One's Moo Farm, one's Moo Meadow.
Yep.
That'll give Bob another course to pick.
Does he really like Moo Meadow?
He always picks Moo Meadows
goodness.
every time.
Let's see. I don't have super strong feelings about it. I think Sherbert Land, if I remember right, is pretty good. We've got Royal Raceway.
I'm down.
Oh, Calamari Desert. That one's been back several times in other things, but I'm gonna say that one just because it's a good time with the train and stuff, you know.
True.
And then,
cool.
I feel like they could do something interesting with Luigi Raceway. Maybe they couldn't. I don't know, but that's like a classic one.
Yeah, why not?
Just the first one.
Luigi doesn't get enough love in this game.
It's true.
Granted,
he hasn't had a whole year in
I'm
years.
I'm not down with Luigi overall. Smash Bros. Has ruined my opinion of Luigi. But in this game, he's hilarious because
there you go.
Looks at you like he wants you to die.
So angry. Yeah. Maybe we just bring back only the Luigi based levels. Okay, so here we go. Again, another one that I really don't know basically at all. So this is, does this one even have the levels pictures? That's not very helpful at all. I don't know anything. Okay,
which ones have never come back?
So this is the GBA. What's interesting is it looks like a bunch of these have never come back. And honestly, like there's some good ones that came from GBA, like the Ribbon Road that's in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That one's from GBA originally. Yep. Cheese Land is from GBA originally.
DLC.
Yep.
Original game.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Yep.
So actually, I'm gonna look at these pictures. Are kind of nice. I'm here for these in the end. They're just fun.
Let's see. Just
ones that have never come back. Snowland has never come back, and that one looks, I don't know, kind of fun.
I'm not picking Snowland. Snow is cringe in this game. Snow.
Ooh, what's this? What's Lakeside Park?
I'm down for Lakeside Park.
Yeah, I don't know what that one is.
But there? What?
Looks like it.
Just a mountain.
I think it's a volcano, and
that's.
Wario and Donkey Kong are straight up on fire. Like magma has killed them.
Yoshi Desert, is that in the video game? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yoshi Desert. No, that one's never been back either.
They have a Yoshi Sphinx in there, man.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. No, these pictures are great, actually. Yeah. Okay, so Sky Garden did come back. That one's in there.
Also Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
Yoshi Desert, Rainbow Road, and what was the other one? Luigi Circuit or something.
And Lakeside Park.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Which is volcanoes.
Nice.
Yeah. The nice thing with these ones too is because it's like more, I don't know, they couldn't do quite as much on the GBA. I feel like they can take more creative liberties.
Exactly.
You know, so that's kind of fun.
Make it like a whole new thing.
Yeah. Nice. Hopefully those ones come back because honestly, just more GBA ones in general. That seems fun. Okay, Double Dash. I'm not literally the GOAT because 8 Deluxe is for sure the best Mario Kart game there's ever been. But Double Dash is
you just made people angry.
Oh, I'm fine with that. It's just truth.
I too am fine with making people angry.
But that said, Double Dash is like I think my number 2.
Well,
fairly safely.
I
think more for nostalgia, less for in the same way that like I still hold Pokemon Gen 1 in higher regards. Like it's super. I don't love the way it controls off the bat. Like I have to actually get used to it, you know.
I think like, 7's number 2 for me.
7's great. Yeah. 7 and Wii, I feel like the physics have kept
to, yes,
right.
7 is like as close to the like control, like how much control you feel like you have of your cart that it gets to Mario Kart 8, you know.
Yep.
Wii is good too, but I think the motion controls in Wii tarnish my opinion a little bit.
Do you play with like that kind of motion control, or just you mean for for the
but
tricks
that's what I'm
stuff?
saying. Like it's just because it was like more of our hurdle to play with anything but motion controls on the Wii, because you know Wii doesn't come with the necessary controllers,
right?
So not everybody that I played that game with had like a GameCube controller or like a Wii Classic controller or whatever. So sometimes you gotta play with the Wii remote, and that's not fun. So that kind of like made me not like Mario Kart Wii as much. So I'd probably say like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and 8, same game.
Yeah, right.
Then 7, then Double Dash, then Wii.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say in terms of like just driving and stuff, I would agree with that for sure. Yeah, nostalgia has a nice bump up for me for Double Dash, but yeah. Okay, so we've got a couple of these already in the game. Like Dry Desert's already in there, Baby Park's already in there, Yoshi Circuit, some other ones. But I mean, I made a list on
Dino Jungle.
Dino Jungle is good. I think I used to love that one. Now that it's already come back in tour, I'm less excited about it because it's like I've almost like reburnt myself out on it from playing into. Yeah, exactly.
Played it at all in tour.
Yep. And I guess because it was also in 7, so that one just feels like very familiar, but it's a nice familiar. Like it's a great level. It's really good. I love the theming and everything. But it's just like, you know, I've seen it more often than other ones, which is totally fine.
What's up with the Rainbow Road in this game? Have they?
It's phenomenal. Yes, I think it is. Maybe they
brought it back.
No, they've never brought it back.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Double Dash. Yeah, man. Okay, whatever. We're doing double for this. For no good reason. I don't want to pick just 3.
Nepotism.
It truly. So some ones that I would say, I'll let you pick the third one of these. The ones that I would put out there as like worth it are let's see, Bowser's Castle from this one's really good. But honestly, I think I judge the levels that I like partly based on their shortcuts. Like if they have fun shortcuts, even if they're hard, then that like just bumps it up, you know, by quite a bit. So that's, you know, that's a factor for sure. But the problem is sometimes sometimes they'll get rid of shortcuts on levels, and then that feels bad because it's like, oh man, like I knew this one for having this, and then now it's different and a little bit less fun because that was the thing that made me like that level so much in the first place. So yeah, Bowser's Castle has a fun shortcut. Wario Coliseum, I don't think has great ones, but it's just a good level. DK Mountain has come back once, but it's also just a great level, good shortcut too. Mushroom City. All right, I'll say those 4 are like my
I mean, Mushroom City seems like the one that is the most different from what we currently have in the video.
I feel that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because like the like less interesting part about like returning courses for me a lot of the time is like, oh, so this is just another one of these ones, you know?
Right? With the exceptions of Rainbow Roads, obviously. Those can all come back is what we've said. But yeah, no, I feel that. We're like, especially the one like, I don't know, Toad Circuit or whatever coming back in this past batch is kind of like, it's fine that it's here, but it's definitely boring, all things considered. It's just going around a track. There's no like aesthetics going on. It's just there.
Daisy Cruiser also is cool.
Daisy Cruiser is cool. Yeah, I feel like that one gets a lot of love. And I feel good about it. Yeah. All right. So did you play DS, you said?
Yeah, I played DS.
Okay.
I had the Mario Kart DS.
Oh,
did I tell that story before?
Oh, yes. I don't know what it was, but I
wanted a blue DS, and I was like, I want a blue DS, and my grandma was like, I'm buying this one. Don't tell me how to spell the lighting. I was like, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
That's really funny. Oh, okay. Already though, I'm seeing several from here that I really like that have come back in other games. Yeah, a bunch of these were back in. It looks like a lot of them have come back in other, at least Wii or 7.
I think TikTok Clock is in 7.
TikTok Clock is in 8.
Oh yeah, that's
Delfino Square was in Wii. Yoshi Falls was in Wii. Peach Gardens was in Wii. Those ones are all good. DK Pass was in 7, I think. I think Wario Stadium. Does it say? Maybe that's the Wario Stadium we have. No. Oh no, that Wario Stadium is the I think is the GameCube one. I don't know. And Luigi's Mansion is in 8. Wow, there's so many good levels in this game.
Rainbow Road.
Yep. I mean, sure, we'll put it there for. Oh, I think that one might already be in. Oh no, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, no, I think what we have is the Mario Kart 8 one.
Yep.
The SNES one.
Yep.
And
N64.
N64 one.
Yep. You're right. The Mario Kart 8 one is a little not disappointing, but it's just kind of un-Rainbow Road. It's like,
yeah,
it's like grounded Rainbow Road. Like,
yeah,
this is, it's like the DC movies Rainbow Road kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is fine, but like I like it better when it's just a rainbow.
You're on like a rainbow. It's not like a satellite.
Yeah,
that has like rainbow stained glass.
Right. You know what? Here's a hot take. Maybe instead of choosing all the rainbow roads, those are a free pass that also come with our other 3 choices, instead of them using up. I mean, then we'd have to go back. Whatever, we can just go back and do other one or pick one more from each. So we're doing 4 each. Rainbow Road is a given in all of them. That's just the new rules as of now. Otherwise, though, I know some popular ones are Airship Fortress. People want that. And I've played that that was on 7, right?
I don't remember. I think so.
Looks like it. Yeah.
It relatively recently.
Yep. But yeah, I thought that one was cool.
Yeah.
What about you? You want to pick another one?
Waluigi Pinball.
Oh, classic. Yes. I almost forgot that was from this game. Yep. And then, oh man, this is hard. There's so many good. I really like DK Pass. If it's the one I'm thinking it is that that was in 7. What was the one on Wii? There was a DK Summit. Okay, on
From
Wii.
DS
and then
on Wii? That seems it seems like it's too close.
Yeah, no. So there's DK Pass on DS, DK Summit on Wii, and then DK Pass came back on 7. So I don't remember off the top of my head which actually ended up being which, because they kind of occupy a similar mind space for me. But I think DK Summit is the one that I particularly like of the 2. So we'll get to that when we get to it. So I'm going to say Peach Gardens, honestly. It feels kind of boring, but I liked it. It's just one that I think about every once in a while. I'm like, that was a fun level. Oh, man, no, but Delfino Square. Oh, well. Right. Nah, I'm changing it. Delfino Square. There we go. Okay, moving along. We're at the Wii now, so we're getting pretty close. Putting Rainbow Road by default.
Yep.
Because that's the way it works. Gonna scroll down over here to the levels. They're going to be a little bit cut off because there should be a whole nother thing here, but because of the way the website is working. Oh, yeah. There you go. Whatever. Right. Not a big deal. Okay. Off the top of your head, any from Wii that you specifically want back?
I mean, we have Coconut Mall. We have Mushroom Gorge. Is that in the game? No,
it's not. In the game, yeah, not yet.
Toad's Factory is not in the game. We have Wario's Gold Mine, Grumble Volcano. The Factory. Put Toad's Factory.
Yeah, Factory's fun. I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, it's your turn. Wait.
Oh no, I was just gonna say Maple Treeway is kind of a given, so I'm just gonna chuck that in there. Koopa Cape, which is that the one that goes? Oh yeah, it goes underwater or into a like pipe underground and stuff. That one's so good. What a good level. I mean, that was 2 ways of saying the exact same sentence. But
Little Meadows is already in the game.
Yes, there it is. Man, yeah, Mario Kart's so good. Like, what did we do to deserve such a fun time? Like, every single one of these just has memories and stuff. Oh man, DK Summit's there, but we already picked 4. So sorry, DK Summit.
Rip
Maybe
DK
next
Summit.
time. All right, and now from 7. So we're doing a good job. Rainbow Road by default. Also a good Rainbow Road. It's the one with like the okay. Mario Kart 7, I think, was the first one to do.
You're on the moon.
You're on the moon, and it's the one that it has sections instead of laps, and I'm always a big fan of that. Like the Mount Wario, and I'm going to go ahead and pick a second one on here that somebody else pointed out on Twitter, and I can't remember off the top of my head. Maka Woohoo. That was the one that was like, I don't even remember that level. But it also has, it's like Woohoo Island or whatever, but it has 3 sections instead of laps and stuff. So it's good. Okay. And then you get 2 in that case, because I just grabbed those 2.
What was the one I was going to, I thought.
Oh, wait, let me pull up the pictures
ahead of time. Is it Cheap? I think it's Cheap Lagoon.
That sounds familiar. Cheap Lagoon. Oh, yeah. I remember that one. That one's fun.
That, and then
also, like, most of these ones are in Mario Kart Tour, so feels pretty safe that any of them could come back.
Is the mountain, the Rock Mountain?
I was hoping you'd pick that one. Yeah, that one's really good. People seem to have I know Shy Guy Bazaar has come up a couple times when people have talked about stuff. I've just seen it on Twitter, at least, that people have picked that. But yeah, Rock Mountain, I think is a really good, just fun level. It kind of fills some of the same gap that DK Mountain does.
Yeah,
while being a little bit
different. There we go.
We didn't. There you go. Yeah. All right, we can do one last lap to grab a third one from some of these games if we want. I'm just going to randomly pick for Super, because why not? Another one that hasn't been back, Mario Circuit 4. Why not? Okay. A fourth one from 64. We can go. Oh, Jungle Parkway. That's a fun one, right?
Sure.
Fun. GBA. I'll let you pick.
Boo Lake.
What? My turn for Double Dash? I never would have guessed. It wasn't planned, but I'm taking it. DK Mountain. Come on.
I thought we already had more on here. We already had more than everything else.
We only have 3. We didn't start that till DS. We did it. We're successful. All right, that's it. We picked all the levels. I mean, technically, there's going to be more than those, and maybe none of these ones specifically would be there. But yeah, good list.
More new ones.
Here, let's
I hope they do like mostly either new ones or ones that are basically new ones because they're on a console that, like, like SNES or GBA. Like,
I definitely agree with that. That would be really fun. Yeah, it is tricky because it seems like based off of these ones, like there is an element like I don't really care, graphically speaking, if it feels phoned in or whatever a little bit, like that's fine.
Like it's going to look better than every other Mario Kart game ever,
right?
The like them not putting like that extra little bit of texture detail on the freaking leaf. It's like I don't care about that. I don't care about that.
Yep. But yeah, I will say, I mean, I think if they phone in the mechanics or whatever a little bit, that is kind of disappointing. Like if it feels like they just, basically plopped the same level in here, then that's, yeah. I mean, so like Coconut Mall is an example of like, it's not that, but it's maybe a little bit that, where the main thing of just like, yeah, I don't know. It feels, it feels fine
by the influencer chat because they're trying to play Valorant.
Oh, interesting. Like they called you on your telephone?
No, they called on Discord because
Oh,
it's a group thing. So like they're trying to play Valorant and they called everybody in the group thing.
that's hilarious. I mean, you could multitask, just do both at the
I'm
same
not
time,
playing Valorant. I gotta install Windows. And no, absolutely not.
That's hilarious. All right, I'll stop sharing my screen. I'll take a picture of this and we'll do something with it. But yeah, it's been on screen for a minute now to be able to see what everything is.
Nice.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. There you go. That's everything. Stop sharing.
We did it.
We did it.
Success.
All things considered. Yeah. I think this is a grand old time. There is part of me that wishes a little bit that, like, as I was playing last night and it was 8 new levels, part of me was like, man, I kind of wish it was just all of them. Like because it feels a little bit.
If they did all of them, I'm playing Mario Kart 3 times this month.
Yeah, right.
And then I'm never touching it. But this way, they got me for, what, 3 more releases or whatever?
5 more.
5 more.
Yep.
So there we go.
No, yeah, it works. And like, yeah, I mean, it's the smart business idea for sure, where like it gets it being talked about frequently. And it just makes sense. People are just still buying this game. Like yeah. I wonder
how much this, like, if there's going to be like an uptick. I think like Japan is going to be our best like barometer.
Oh, that's very true. I mean, already it was showing up #1 on the eShop. However, it might have also, I wonder if you buy DLC on a game or the base game, I wonder if both of those put the game in the charts. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know. So it could be that it was just a bunch of people buying the DLC, in which case then it would go up there. But I mean, I'd imagine at least some people, now that the game's like back and happening and stuff like that, whether they skipped it because they have it on the Wii U or they just never played it because they didn't. And yeah, no, you're right. Japan's going to be an interesting metric next week.
I feel like the amount of people that like outright skipped it because they had it on Wii U is pretty low. Because like, like there's definitely like a lot of people that initially did that and then they got peer pressured and had to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
So
I definitely, that makes sense. It's a lot of people talk to big talk towards the early days of Switch in general, especially, like, why do I need this thing if I already have this thing? It's like, well, are you going to plug in your Wii U? Like, is that what's going to happen?
Absolutely.
Like, okay, no, probably not. So, it'll be specifically interesting to see what all happens with Mario Kart 9 and stuff down the road, and like looking back at this in retrospect and seeing how these two things panned out. And that's a conversation for another day, but still curious nevertheless. Also, we've been curious for a while about Monster Hunter Sunbreak, and we need to be curious no longer because
it's true, they did a digital thingy.
Because they did a thing.
They announced so much stuff. There's like new monsters and new story and stuff,
Yeah. And that's about all that we're gonna end up saying about it, because neither of us are playing.
I don't know anything about this, but I might play it.
Yeah,
like Capcom, hook it up.
That's true. Yeah.
Stream or something.
I wonder if you have to beat the base game to be able to play it.
It said you just had to.
You don't? Okay.
There's like a certain mission that you had to beat or something.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I got an email. I got some emails, so maybe, might maybe.
Interesting.
TBD.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I've got a bunch of these kinds of games, but this is another one of those where, like, if I had no other games to be playing at the time, I'd probably go back and keep trying to play more Monster Hunter Rise, because like I just barely got to the point where I was like, okay, I kind of get the gameplay loop. I mean, I understand the gameplay loop regardless, but like where I
like you
was
get it, like it clicks for you personally.
I was just kind of about to get that spot, was right around there, and then I don't know, something else came out or something, so just Didn't really stick with it. And I do think like playing with other people seems like a pretty significant thing.
That's the entirety of it for me. Like the game itself, I don't really care. But like I'm down to play with other people.
So yeah, there we go. Good. It comes out June 30th. And this June already, like I was just thinking about this the other day, just like specifically between now and summer for Nintendo is just packed. Like truly could be one of the best summers for at least for the Switch, but maybe for a Nintendo console in at least a long time. And I guess it depends like how you consider all those things, but in terms of just number of first party releases, like it's up there for sure.
Yeah, like that right there, like that part is objective. Like people can be like, oh, I don't like any of these games. And it's like, yeah, but like millions of people do.
Yeah, actually, hang on. I'm gonna pull up the I'm taking a look at my spreadsheet because I forgot what all. So yeah, I mean, this summer, just in June, we've got Mario Strikers, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, this, which is, you know, Switch exclusive, but besides PC, I guess maybe. Splatoon 3 in the summer, sometime in the summer. I still don't know if we decided, Alec, I think you corrected us last time, if it's Live Alive, Live Alive, Live Alive, Live Alive. I don't know. Alive, but that one also, that's coming out in July, and then all that kind of stuff. So just there's a bunch of stuff this summer. Good times.
True.
Good times indeed. Leyev Aliv. That's how I'm gonna say it from now on. All right, but that's it. I don't have a whole lot to say about Monster Hunter Sunbreak. So, but very glad that it's announced.
Many monsters are gonna be hunted. The sun is broken.
Yes, indeed, and the sun is broken, and so is GameStop. Specifically, this didn't make the rounds, I don't think, in terms of like, I didn't see this as it came out, but I was just like looking for articles and I was like, what? So Reggie left GameStop because he was on the board for a couple of years now. He was on the board of directors or something like that. Right? Board of directors? Yeah. Something within that sort of kind of thing where it's like he's related to it, but not
advisory board or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like that kind of thing where he's but he left the board of directors or whatever it was. This probably, yes. Okay. The former head of Nintendo America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, has told an audience at South by Southwest why he decided to step down from GameStop's board of directors. All right. Good job, us. Reggie says that the company wouldn't explain to him how they would turn around their ailing retail business. Because of that, he couldn't continue work alongside them. And he also said the GameStop leadership rebuffed his ideas. Reggie stepped down from the board of directors after serving barely a year with GameStop. And the quote is, "There has not been an articulated strategy. Leadership says we don't want to articulate our strategy because we don't want it to be stolen." To me, that was not acceptable. That was the whole reason I put this article in here. What a ridiculous thing.
GameStop. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible company.
Man, so I mean, very much Alex said no one wants to steal any GameStop strats. Very true. Like that's not a strong currency. Like, but I just thought that was really, really funny. And specifically the part of like them not even listening to Reggie's ideas. Like that's, I don't know. Like, you know,
like what is the point of having him? Well, the point of having him there is
the clout.
Yeah, exactly. Like the value that his name has of being associated, and like him just being there to them is enough to be like, see, we're doing pretty good. We got Reggie here. He's down. He thinks we're doing good stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, what are we doing? And they're like, I don't know all that. So he's like, I'm dipping. I'm out. I'm going.
Indeed. Yeah. I mean, good thinking, Reggie. He's doing a lot of cool stuff. Like I don't remember all the exact details, but like he did a little podcast at some point and like wrote a book and
he did
some other stuff.
Podcasts and like moderating like panels and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and talks and talking at like universities and whatnot. Making Mother 3 jokes.
Yeah, true.
What I like to
say. I think he tweeted something recently. He was like, "Here's your Mother 3," and it was
he like signed somebody's copy.
That's what it was. Yeah. Oh man, Reggie's just a fun guy. I really like. I love the arc of guy who seemingly, as far I don't remember his whole past or anything like that, but like doesn't know that much or care that much about gaming games. I mean, whatever in particular like beforehand, right?
Played games like he wasn't
okay.
He like played video games.
Gotcha.
His personal life,
mm-hmm.
But he didn't come from like the game industry.
Right.
I think he like worked for Nike before he worked for
and
Nintendo.
Like I think he was something high up at Pizza Hut at some point too.
Yeah.
That's the only one that I remember off the top of my head.
MTV.
Oh, okay, that one makes more sense too. So yeah, but just like a fun little arc, So similarly fun little arc is Triangle Strategy. Selling great. They seemingly have sold. I'm going to pull up the article because I've seen two conflicting numbers. So I'm going to take a look at.
It has now sold 1 million copies, according to My Nintendo News.
Yeah. Wait a minute. This. So okay. Square Enix and the development team at Ardnick have cause for celebration this evening as they have announced that recently released Triangle Strategy has now shifted over 1 million units on Nintendo Switch. Interesting. And then it says Triangle Strategy has sold 800,000 copies worldwide and 20,000 in Japan and Asia. So how do we get to a million from there?
What does that mean? I'm confused.
Yeah, I feel like so no matter what it is,
saying
it's still a lot.
This is sold in, not sold through.
Yeah,
so like a million copies are at
that's what it seems like,
waiting to be sold to consumers.
Oh, and also, okay, it's a typo. The tweet says 200,000 in Japan plus Asia and 800,000 in the world.
Okay.
But it's not; those aren't cumulative numbers. The 200,000 plus, I think, is within that 800,000. So really, it's at 800,000. I'm pretty sure. Again, nevertheless, it's like that's great for what Triangle Strategy is, and like. I don't know, like that's impressive, so hopefully it keeps up. And but even if it doesn't, at this point it's like everybody who wants it can get it, has gotten it, and it's not going to stop them from making more games. Like that's the main thing that sales really matters at is like, can the team stay afloat?
Enough to tell them like this is worth making more or not.
Yep.
And indeed, hopefully that's enough for people that want to play those video games.
Yep.
I am indifferent.
True. And then the last article I've got is I saw this it's a top 10 selling Switch games in Japan, and at first I was like based on from Famitsu, and I was like, well, it's just going to be the same as not the same, but pretty close to the same as the top 10 on the Switch, and that is not the case.
Yep.
Which is a no-brainer in retrospect, but it's still interesting to look at.
Yeah, because like we don't have the full top 10 across the board anyway. Like Nintendo doesn't like tell us the million.
That's true.
For the most part from third party.
It's just first party stuff.
It's just them. Yeah.
Which safe to assume at this point, now that everything's over 10 million in their top 10, pretty sure that's going to be their actual top 10. But I mean, we didn't know that Mario plus Rabbids was at 7.5 million, and there's a chance that for a minute there that would have been in the top 10, and we just didn't even know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, in Japan, number 1, Animal Crossing, that matches the same. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Smash, which I think is actually number 3.
Yeah, it's number 3
on otherwise. And then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is normally number 1 worldwide. So a little bit shifting around there. I'll note.
I just looked at the rest of the list.
Yeah, exactly. So one game that's notably missing from this, which is Breath of the Wild, which is not and Mario Odyssey. Both of those
are
games that it's just interesting because obviously they cater more to
retrospect. Breath of the Wild not being there makes sense. Mario, I'm confused by that still. That's still confusing.
I think like
Breath of the Wild, Japan don't care about Zelda.
Yeah, I mean, even honestly, like Mario is, I guess,
Japan don't really care
more
about 3D
in
Mario
the
either. So
yeah, it's like Mario to me kind of feels, at least 3D Mario feels like in the same kind of genre of Breath of the Wild, as like it's more like it's a platformer, but it's kind of more like adventure game sort of at the same time, you know, like, and that's something that like we love in the West. It's we can't get enough of it. You know, that's why PlayStation does so well in the West and is not really doing that great in Japan, because a lot of the things they focus on are like big adventure games. And
I mean, but also mostly form factor. Like
that also
mostly don't care about that. Like Vita was doing, I mean, relatively well in Japan. That was like one of the it was either a Nintendo game or it was a Vita game that was on their charts. Now it's just all Nintendo. And I think Elden Ring peaked into the charts one week.
Another thing I noticed about this list as we keep going to, so number 4, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Excuse me. Number 5, Splatoon 2. Makes sense. This is, and numbers wise, we're looking at the Animal Crossing is at 7 million. Smash through Splatoon is all in the 4 million range. Ring Fit Adventure 3 million. This is the one I think that you were like, what? Momotaro Densetsu or Dentetsu Showa Heisei.
No, I said what to the fact that Breath of the Wild wasn't there. But
I don't know what this is. It's so funny that like this game is in the top 10 of all of Switch in Japan.
And I have no idea what it is.
Never heard of it. Yeah, you know, or maybe I've heard of it only in the context that like this game's selling great in Japan. You know, like I know I've heard of a Japanese game or two that's that, you know. See here, let me look it up real quick because I know there's been one game in the past that I saw have I think it was this game. I saw it have a headline at some point and I was like, what even is that? So it came out in 2020.
I've never seen this.
When in 2020? Because was this pandemic sales? Maybe. No, it was. I mean, well, yeah, if it was 2020 in general. But yeah, it's just so funny that, you know, has come out there and hasn't even come out here. So it's interesting to me. And then the last one's to round it out, Minecraft, and then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and then Monster Hunter Rise.
Unfortunate for them.
So the thing that I noticed about this that's interesting, just like culturally or whatever, is almost all these, maybe all of them, except for Ring Fit Adventure, are multiplayer games.
True.
Which, like, again, culturally, just like that's interesting because whereas Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, like those kind of adventure games or whatever are single player, like you could, I mean, there is technically some multiplayer in Mario Odyssey, or like you could talk about Breath of the Wild if people are playing it, you know, it's a single player game. So like, it's just, it seems like, yeah, there's a lot more of like collective culture around gaming in a certain way that, I don't know. I feel like that's like, it's a little bit of a reach because most of the games in the top 10 in America are multiplayer too. Like, yeah, that's the exception. Even like Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are sitting amongst games like Mario Party, you know, right?
Like it's still like Pokemon and like Let's Go and Brilliant Diamond are also in our top 10, and that's those are 2 multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Sword and Shield, Smash, Animal Crossing, Mario Kart. It's like really the only difference is we care about Mario Odyssey, like 3D Mario, and we care about Zelda.
Like, and I guess that's a lot of what I'm basing it on too. Is just that like it's interesting that those things. I mean, and those have sold better than any of the others in their own series in Japan. But still,
Still not
and I'm
enough
also,
to,
I'm saying this, as like some dumb white guy that's never been to Japan and doesn't know the culture at all. So it's totally reading tea leaves at this point.
Because I feel like for the most part, it's kind of the opposite of that in a lot of ways. Like on some level, it's like they like mobile games, and a lot of mobile games are multiplayer in the same way that like Mario Kart or Smash or whatever, like online multiplayer, like that type of thing. But for the most part, it seems like they gravitate towards stuff that just in terms of like form factor are more like insular, like outside of the Switch. Before the Switch, you're not really plugging your Vita up to the TV and be like, all right, everybody, let's play.
Right. I mean, I see that. I guess what I'm envisioning is more like, even in that context, people playing their own games together, kind of like Pokemon being a good even like traditional Pokemon. I feel like if again, I don't know this from experience at all. I wonder if fewer people in Japan are mad about the like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy 2 copies of this game to be able to trade the Pokemon from the version exclusive. That feels like a really Western thing to me. I don't know. So, but like the, I don't know, just the communal
like
aspect,
like a modern Western thing. Because modern Western people are like, I need to communicate with other humans. Cringe. It's like,
yep,
we have devolved.
So there you go. That's just thought that was an interesting little thing. But with that, we are now at the Q&A segment of the podcast, and let's go. Let's do it. All right, first up from Twitter, Falcon asks, how do you feel about Smash Ultimate now that it's been out for 3.5 years? How does it compare to what you had hoped for in a Smash 5 pre-2018?
This is Smash 6, fake fan, Tone Sakurai, LOL, get rolled, nerd.
Does Sakurai see them as 2 different ones? Okay, that's right.
Because he's an idiot.
That's hilarious.
I mean, I like it more. I like it more. Every year I like Smash Ultimate more.
More than you'd even hoped for, whatever you'd hoped for it to be?
Significantly more. Yeah.
Nice.
Because like Smash 4, like I've always liked Smash. I've always liked playing Smash. But I have never liked playing it in the way that I play it now until Ultimate. And I joked about this yesterday when we were talking to Xeon. But a lot of that is because like Pokemon Trainer, and I like Pokemon a lot, and Pokemon Trainer is actually good, and like there's depth there, and I can like dig deeper and deeper and deeper. But it's also just because like it's such a big game in terms of like the amount of content that's in it. And there's so much to learn because of that. Also the fact that alongside that, which I think regardless of like the game, obviously like the game being big and selling like a lot helps this, but the scene, like the competitive scene of Smash has grown a lot through this as well. Like there was like that whole thing, I think the week before last week, when people were somebody joked about like nobody playing the game except for like people that are hardcore into the game or whatever. But like on any given weekend, they have like they're like top 5 viewed games on Twitch, because it's like they throw a tournament and 200,000 people are watching it, and like some of the biggest creators on Twitch are fans of the game. So it's like Moist Critical turns on Smash because he sponsors players, and there's 50,000 people just watching just his stream of like Smash or whatever. So I think like in that way, Smash continues to grow, and I think that pending like what Nintendo does with the circuit with Panda, like that only stands to exponentially grow it even more than that.
I mean, especially it's interesting, like in my mind, there's a lot of things where, like, oh, there's not new content coming out. That means it's probably going to sunset now. And realizing like, nope, people have been like the main Smash platform until now has been Melee, a game that came out and then it was never patched. That's not a thing.
The thing is like the competitive scene is kind of the opposite. It's like, we're done with content. Sick. I can actually learn how to play the game.
Exactly. I
can do combos and stuff, and Nintendo won't patch them out. Pog.
And it is a nice thing during the time too, that like, as you know, if there was stuff that was good or bad about Pokemon Trainer, that it was, you know, kind of going to get worked out in the end, to at least trusting that it's like, it'll be neutral, you know, if nothing else, like, that like, yeah, having those patches, I'm sure is kind of a nice thing. And like the fact that it feels pretty balanced and stuff is good, as opposed to, you know, again, older games, just, they come out and they are what they are. And like, if there's bugs, just like, well, that's how it is. So it's, you know, yeah. But that is interesting. Yeah. Like you said, that like once stuff is fully landed, then you can like try to figure out all the nooks and crannies of it after the fact.
There's so much that people do not know about this game. Like, I listen to like Tweak. He has a podcast called Tweak Talks. And clever. They talk about all the time. How like people, nobody's good at this game. Like people suck at this game. And like that is like very obvious when you look at how people that like have been playing Melee for the last 20 years play the game versus like people playing Ultimate. Like, and Melee, if somebody hits you, you're probably gonna die. Like there's just a lot of like, that's how optimized it is, where it's like, oh, okay, I know which strings I can get off of this thing, and I hit you in this specific area, so if you miss this tack, I'm going to do that. If you don't miss the tack, I'm going to do that. If you know, like there's just so many like flow charts that people have optimized over the decades of Melee being out. And like this game in comparison is super young, and like every few months some like thing that you would think is like super simple, people discover, and that completely reshapes the metagame. Like, and my very small, like my very like specific pocket in Smash Ultimate with Pokemon Trainer, something as simple as like Ivysaur up throw into his up air was like something that people like quote unquote figured out a year into the game, where it's like, oh shoot, you can do up throw in the up air, because usually what people do is they'll down throw into like his neutral air and then try to get an up air from there. But somebody started doing up throw up air, and that confirms earlier, and you just die because you got hit with up air and you're like closer to the top blast zone. That times 80, you know, like there's 80 characters. Exactly. So there's stuff like that happening with all of these characters across the board. And like some characters that we initially thought were terrible are like actually decent, or some characters that we thought were really good are also, I mean, are actually kind of mid, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, it's crazy because with the amount of speed runs, for example, like people are still finding new ways to break records in Mario 64, which is like the most speedrun game of all time. And you know, people still are breaking records, which is crazy. You know, all these years later. And it wasn't honestly until, you know, a certain point, like 2017 or something, where somebody figured out some strong glitch to be able to do whatever.
Yeah, they figure out one thing, and that opens up so much more, because it's like, okay, well, what does this mean in the context of other things that I have been doing, and how does this change that, and how do I get time off of my run from doing this, you know?
And like, it's interesting because it also, we're at a time where, as complicated as these things are, they're also more approachable than ever because of content creators who can like do a like understanding Smash, you know, whatever, like at least from a viewing perspective. Like I haven't watched a lot of content about Smash stuff, so I guess I don't know that part from experience, but speedruns, for example, are like kind of crazy, you know. It's they live in a similar kind of space, and there's somebody that's able to just, you know, watch a GDC thing, and somebody is running the game, and someone's sitting next to them and be like, yeah, so the reason you're able to do this is because the vectors of the what are you know,
I
like,
mean, that's what commentary is. It's like people, like on those tournaments, it's like, oh, this character did blah blah, and sorry, said Byleth is top tier. That's like, that's one of the DLC characters. I still think it's terrible. Well, not terrible, but not great. Very exploitable.
Is it top tier in
Byleth is winning a lot of stuff because MK Leo plays
interesting
Byleth. But that's the thing, MK Leo plays Byleth. So, like, he's like one of the few people that when I watch them play the game, like how I said the tweet jokes about like everybody's terrible at this game, he's the only person that's not. Him and Spargo are the only two people that are good at the video game. Wow. And like, he's good at the game, and he's like very fast at developing the meta of characters, and like if you're able to like look at a character and say, okay, this is what their forward tilt does, and this is what their neutral B, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You can get a general idea of like this character's good and this character's bad.
Yeah.
He's very good at like identifying the best tools of every character, regardless of how good or bad they are, and of using those in a way that you won't know what to do about, because like he's not going to go for an option that he knows the character can't do anything about. So like, because something that MK does a lot, specifically with Byleth, as far as like the non-Leo specific things, is Byleth's Nair is very good because it like kind of baits you. It's like you land on somebody with Nair and there's like a landing hitbox on there. So like usually when somebody like hits you when they're landing, it's like, okay, you landed and now I can unshield and I can punish you. But with Byleth's Nair, there's like an extra hitbox when Byleth Nair hits the stage. That's like an earthquake hitbox, and you have to parry that. Like actually, you have to parry that, and because of like how reactable the Nair is after that hitbox, the only way to true punish it, if they space it well, is to parry it. You have to parry Byleth Nair to punish that move, and Leo knows that, so he uses the Nair to put you in situations where it's like, well, you're going to try to drop your shield.
Is a parry a perfect shield? Is that, or what's a parry?
It's like
in
this
context of Smash?
It's like this game's equivalent of perfect shield, where
gotcha.
Before perfect shielding was you put your shield up right before something hits your shield. Or something would hit your shield. In this game, you drop your shield within 5 frames of something hitting your shield.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's like this risk reward of like, okay, well, I'm going to drop my shield for this 5-frame window, which it takes 11 frames to drop your shield. So it's
you have to preempt it by 6 or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. What a lot of people do in Japan is like, they just mash the shield button. That never works for me. Like that's something that happens a lot, like when I'm streaming and stuff, like, and people have noticed this, is I have become pretty good at like parrying. Most times when people parry in this game, unless you're a top player, dude, it's an accident. And like it's very obvious when people parry by accident, because it's like they parry and then they rush to do something aggressive. But a lot of times, like I'll parry and I'll wait for them to react to the fact that I just parried, and I'll go, and I'll punish that thing after that, or I'll do a direct follow-up. That's like, there's no way I rushed to do that. Like that was I buffered an option. But that move specifically is hard because you have to parry that hitbox. You can if you parry any other hitbox in it, you're going to get hit again.
Wow. Yeah.
It's
so
like
interesting.
He's good at abusing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Smash, that's what it is. That's what
I feel like I could beat MK Leo. Just give me a shot,
Maybe. The thing that's hilarious is like during Summit, that tournament that I was talking about before, it has like the huge prize pool, and like it's like it has side events and stuff like that. That's like one of the side events was all the casters did a crew battle against MK Leo, and they all had 3 stocks. It was like 5 people versus just Leo, and he had 6 stocks altogether. They took 1 stock. Like it was crazy. And like even the 1 stock that they took, the guy that took the stock SD'd to get the stock.
Wow.
So it was like,
goodness.
He is insane at this video game.
Yeah, man.
And like,
for the record, there was I do not think I could beat MK Leo. That was an inside joke.
Yeah.
So that's for that, but for everybody else. Yeah, carry on.
But yes, 100%. He's
very Smash is great. I like,
it's a cool game.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't like, as a mostly single player experience kind of thing too. I know that Falcon, I know you're not asking me technically, because that's the thing, but even so, I like it a lot. I had a really good time playing like World of Light and stuff like that, even if it was like, it's not the best thing in the world, but like, it's not functionally, big picture wise, it's not the best thing. Like something like Subspace Emissary would have been cooler, but the minute to minute, like while you're playing it, still super fun to just play Smash, so and I played it in other contexts and it's fun too. So good stuff. Next up, Chris the Butte asks, what's your funniest pet story?
I had a cat.
Yeah.
Cat's name is Cheetah. The reason why I no longer have my cat is because my cat got up on its hind legs and like called its hand like this, and then it jumped up the stairs. And my sister was like, "No, we got to get rid of this cat."
Oh no. Yeah.
You're like, "No, we got to get this cat away." I can't do this.
Okay. It's a good question. Mine's probably like, we've got 2 dogs right now and they're great. I love them so much. But like, they don't do anything that funny because dogs are just like, cute, nice, and fun to be around and stuff. Cats are weird and do weird things. And so I feel like they're always going to win the funny animal story category. We had a cat named Zoe. Or still have. My parents have her back in Belgium, and I haven't seen her in several years. And she's 16 now, so I'm a bit nervous. Jeez. Like, I need to get back and see her before it's too late. But yeah, so we had a cat named Zoe, and then we were living in a house where she could be out in our backyard, and there were other cats around, and she had a good time like hanging out. And she was an indoor-outdoor cat. And then we moved to another house where we didn't have a backyard. It was like we just didn't have a backyard. So she got really bored all the time. And so when somebody else offered us, "Hey, do you want this cat of mine? I'm moving away and you can have him." We were like, "Yeah, sure." Then she'll have a friend. That'll be great. We named him George, and he borderline like had mental disabilities in a cat. Like, we checked what like technically qualifies, and he checked like 5 out of the 10 boxes, and you only needed 7 to like for it to count officially. So we were like, all right. So George was very, very, very dumb. And so I mean, there's probably a lot of like little stories that whatever, but my favorite thing was it was really mean, but Zoe liked to pick on George just because it was entertaining for her. And so she would hide like under like a tablecloth we had like a side table or something that had a tablecloth on it that went down to the floor, or his coffee table, I guess. And she'd like hide under that and then see him coming and then pounce out at him, and he'd freak out and run away, and she'd feel all good about herself. And then he would try to do the same thing, but he was very, very unsmart. So like, it was like a fat guy hiding behind a tiny little tree branch kind of thing. And so he would hide and try to jump out of her, and then she would just jump out at him instead and freak him out, and he'd run away again. And this happened on a weekly basis, and it was just so funny and a little bit sad, but mostly very funny. So yeah, I think all the things, including George, were probably some of the funniest times that we had with animals. So there you go. Good stuff. All right. Noir Lucario asked a super good question. If Meta Knight got his own game, what genre should it be?
I
mean, okay, so the low-hanging fruit is like some kind of Metroidvania, Hollow Knight kind of thing, like that feels like the
slice
Metroidvania. I love that. Yeah, Alex said slice of life armor shopping, just like going around, or it's a dress up game. It's like a fashion savvy or whatever, but with Meta Knight.
I don't know. I feel like Meta Knight should have I guess this is like kind of a platformer thing, but like it's like Meta Knight has to like protect Kirby from himself.
Interesting.
Because Kirby's like kind of dumb. It's like, it's like it has the, he like gets into trouble a lot just by being stupid. And Meta Knight's job is to like protect him from some situations like that.
I like that a lot. I feel like whatever it is, it also like, so do that and then have there be cutscenes that are very anime, like the whole like you only see half like a sliver of his face, like like that. That's what I'm going because he's like such a serious character in, I mean,
but he's
Kirby
literally just dark Kirby. Like he just is literally a Kirby.
Yeah, I love that. Like similarly, it reminds me a little bit of when we were had ideas.
Like this fits perfect in slice of life.
It's okay. No, it's slice of Kirby's life. Like Kirby's just he's bebopping around going to the store, but for Meta Knight, so I guess something about this too still feels like
Secret Service for Kirby.
Feels kind of One Punch Man-y, I think, to me. In that kind of regard. Yeah, man, there's so many characters like them, or like doing a Wario Waluigi game that not same genre, but like just ways to use these characters that are really quirky and you could do really interesting, weird things with. But the closest we get to that's like WarioWare, which is it kind of counts, but it's different,
Toad.
Yeah.
Which Captain Toad's not really like. It didn't seem like they were like, all right, what's Toad's personality?
Right.
Let's make a game based off of that. Luigi's Mansion a little bit was.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion is a good example of that. Like, I never played Super Princess Peach or whatever, but maybe some of that.
Super Princess Peach is cringe because it's like she's a woman.
Oh,
she's
yeah,
emotional.
she uses emotions, right? Okay, yeah. What a time.
That wasn't the strongest moment.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of women on the panel for that one. Alex said it's fun but problematic. Yeah, that sounds about it. Oh man. Thrill House asks, what Nintendo games do you think would work best for a live service game? Could be a revival of the Satellaview kind of thing.
I mean, a live service game for free is like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Smash.
Yeah.
Like those are the easiest ones. As far as like, I mean, I get like any type of thing that's like the content of the game and like the reason why it has a long tail is like get better at the game. Like F-Zero is like another example,
right? Yeah,
of that, where it's like there's always like more to do because you could always get better. Those sorts of games work well. So I think F-Zero, Mario Kart, Smash.
Mario Maker 2, or I mean, Mario Maker is another, if it's handled better than Mario Maker 2 was, I feel like that's an easy one. Yeah, I mean, honestly, or just in general, like sports. Oh, hang on, Nintendo Switch Sports, like that. I mean, maybe not that specifically because it's like doing action and stuff like that, and so it's less like, I think a live service game needs to appeal specifically to like core gamers and all that, or core and like slightly casual gamers, as opposed to like moms.
I think Switchboards could work, but it would have to have like a lot of content, I think.
Yeah, right.
Like I think Animal Crossing could work, but again, it would be dependent on like a lot of content that is like good,
But maybe something that's like a sports game that's more like brings together, like they don't know what to do with 1080 and Wave Race and that kind of stuff, and Excite Bike. So just have those all be part of the Woohoo Island sort of thing. But that's kind of those sorts of things. Like I feel like there's a bunch of things that Nintendo could do where they have multiple IPs that they could chuck together in some way. I guess the problem is none of them maybe have the brand recognizability that they want to be able to hold the other ones up, would be the problem. I don't know. So
there's no like strong front runner that's like, man, we're still making Wave Race, but the other ones fell by the wayside. We can bring them up if we still make, but like all of them are in the same boat. So it's
yep, it's true. Oh, and speaking of which, one of the questions from Discord going out of order. Merc asked, what's the best boat in gaming?
The King Red Lions.
Oh yeah.
Him.
I have still never played
Wind
Waker. I'd very much like to, but at this point I'm just wait. Like I have it on GameCube. It's out in my living room, but I just want to wait till it comes to Switch, which I assume will happen at some point. And I've got other games to play, so I'm going to just wait a little while. but that's a good one. I was gonna say the Peach Cruiser.
No,
since we were just talking Mario,
you gotta take one for the team. Just get a Wii U, get Wind Waker HD, and then it'll come to Switch.
There,
do it for the grid.
You know, there is something to be said for that. Like, yeah, somebody's got to be the Racker Rice. That's
I already have it, and I got it at launch, so it's not gonna work if I do it.
It's true. Yeah,
you gotta fall on the sword.
on the Master Sword. Man. All right, so yeah, we're into questions from Discord now. Those are good questions so far. I'm very impressed. Discord, Falcon again asked, AJ, is Pokemon Heart Gold still among the top of your all-time favorite games?
No, I think Sword and Shield probably replaced it. Well, okay. Sword and Shield is like symbolically Arceus, but Arceus doesn't have a long enough tail for me to like, for it to be like cemented there. But like what it does, I like more than any other Pokemon game. But it just do it deep enough for it to last.
It seems like it's a pretty easy layup into Scarlet and Violet for that.
Yeah,
you know,
but even then, I feel like there's Scarlet. Like if Arceus to me is the alpha, Scarlet is the beta. Like, I still don't think that they're gonna like stick the landing on Scarlet.
There's gonna be some growing pains for some stuff for sure. I mean, I think it's just, you know, it's a it's a lot of concepts that they haven't evolved in a really long time. Yeah, and they aren't gonna do all at once. And
also, I feel like they gotta kind of figure out what that means for them. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
If for so long they're trying to like make the best version of the thing that already existed, because there's legitimately so many fans that have been telling them, don't change this. Yeah. Like literally, like I've seen it and I'm not them, you know? Like the few thousand people that have told me like Pokemon should, you know, like, I can't even imagine the amount of people tell them that. Yeah. So for them to like test it out and then see even more people embrace the opposite, it's like, oh shoot, okay, that they were the vocal minority. All right, bet. You know, they gotta kind of like inch out of their hole. You know what I mean? Yep. So I don't know. I personally am okay with giving them grace to grow and you know, make better, bigger things.
Yep. It does seem, I mean, like, fingers crossed that ideally, at least it'll be something where like I'm mostly here for the single player main story component or whatever. And that's something that as long as they do a similar job to Legends Arceus, then like probably good for that. I still don't, I bet end game, post game stuff, or sorry, I bet end game stuff specifically is still going to be within the same kind of slightly rough patch, haven't quite figured it out stuff as Legend Arceus was. But I wouldn't be surprised if at least the post game stuff and like the competitive bits and the stuff that is keeping you going in Sword and Shield, like that stuff basically doesn't like, change too much.
I truly believe that if the game did a better job at fully realizing what the Pokemon world is, and a lot of that is about like beyond the like quote unquote main campaign, you wouldn't even feel like that. Because Breath of the Wild isn't structured like that either. Totally, you know, like the bulk of the value of Breath of the Wild is everything around what the campaign tells you to do. Like if the game was literally just beat the calamities, you know, like beat Calamity Ganon and beat the Blights if you want, the game would be mid. But because there's so much depth and like fun things to do surrounding that, that is what makes Breath of the Wild good. I think the value of Pokemon, and I mentioned this a bit in the thing that you guys will see soon, is like the micro moments of Pokemon. It's like, oh man, I just ran into this trainer and like is freaking Machoke broke his leg. We got to get him to the Pokemon Center. And then, like,
Yeah.
you know, the shenanigans that unfold on your way to the Pokemon Center. That is
Yep.
the value of this. That's what could be interesting about this game.
Yep.
Not like this very specific crime syndicate that everybody's going to fight and has all the same, you know, like employees and all that. You're just doing the exact same thing as everybody else in this huge, vast world that has all these different occupations, all these different creatures, all this different, like, fantastical elements about the world that you're in. Your experience is the same as Joe Schmo that's also playing the video game. I think if they did a better job at, like, embracing the fact that there's so much variance that can be had in a world like this, that is, like, the best case scenario of a game, of a Pokemon game.
I mean, honestly, like, take a page out of Stardew Valley. Like, that feels like a weird pull, but like there's so much depth to some of the few things that are there. Like, NPCs specifically have so many dialogue trees and so much that you can get to know about a specific person and stuff. And interesting things that happen. Like, you know, I've seen a YouTube video a long time ago that was like, what if you're dating all of the people in town all at once, and they all find out, like, what happens then? And it's like specific things are meant to happen. Like, that's awesome. And I think that's the thing, is like,
even if it's like a specific thing of, like, for whatever reason you just don't want to play with other people,
right?
It's like, okay, well, I got the most that I want out of being a trainer. I'm going to try being a breeder now. You know, I'm going to try to be the best coordinator. I want to try to become Nurse Joy, you know, like, I want to be a gym leader or whatever, right? Like, you have, like, all these different, like, things that you can pursue, right? And, like, your experience of not playing the game anymore isn't like, I ran out of stuff that I care about, and it feels bad, you know, like, the end of Arceus didn't feel good. Like, and we talked about that a little bit, where it's like, it's a slog. It's like, okay, I'm done playing this. Like, you like, kind of like regret your last few moments with the game, rather than like Breath of the Wild, where it's like, okay, I've had my fill. I am no longer going to play this because I have had enough. I mean, feel great about this game in the grand scheme of things, but I have had my fill and I will play other things. you know, like,
I think exactly like he said too. It's like, fully realizing the world of Pokemon. And if I were to imagine myself in the world of Pokemon, my end goal wouldn't be to, like,
catch everything,
maybe not even catch everything, but especially not to, like, compete every weekend, like, go to, you know, like, that's not the thing that I just don't care about this. And so, like, right now it feels like if I want to play the game more, I've got to, like levels are the thing that feel like progress in the game, is like having more Pokemon, or just numbers going up of some variety. So having more Pokemon, or having the Pokemon that I do have more levels, beat more battles, like, whatever, that kind of a thing. And it's kind of linear in a direction that, like, you know, that I'm not a competitive person and don't like, that's just, like, not that fun at the end of the day. You know, it's like moving in a direction that I will have increasing resistance towards, basically. So figuring out end game stuff that's in just a completely different direction, and maybe that has some different numbers associated with it as well, you know,
or not even necessarily. The thing is,
but
like,
ideally not.
I think that the best case scenario is moving away from the idea of an end game. Like, it's just the game. Like, the only reason why it feels like an end game is because really it's the main game. It's like, you play through a tutorial. That is what the gym, like, the trainer's journey has always been. It's just more obvious in Sword and Shield. And then you get through all of that, and it's like, okay, I understand type advantages, and I beat 8 different gym leaders that all have 8 different types and some dual type things. So I understand how those interact with the 6 Pokemon that I have chosen to have on my team. And now I'm ready to do that with humans that have brains, you know? But, like, in the grand scheme of things, the game should really be like, I don't care about the trainer's journey, or like, I don't want to be a Pokemon master or whatever. I want to do something else in this world. It's like the same question. Like, you're literally Dawn or May, you know, like, Dawn did, you know, like, or no, May didn't really like Pokemon. She's like, oh, I want to do this. So like, but then she eventually figured out, she's like, oh, I do like Pokemon. I just want to be a coordinator, you know, like, that sort of thing. There's so many different trees in this world that you could pursue, and I think everybody would enjoy It doesn't have to be, and it never had to be like everything is about competitive battling. That's just what the game is currently right now.
Right.
But it shouldn't be, because the world is wider than that.
Yep.
By their own admission, they themselves
right.
have presented this, you know, like.
Yeah. So that's the kind of thing that I'd love to see. And again, yeah, I feel like Arceus did a good job of the main part of the game doing that better and being something else.
They give you a different, like, they're like, instead of a Pokemon trainer, you're a researcher now. You know?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Sorry, said, dang, I've never gone past the tutorial. Honestly, same. Yeah. That's like, I mean, especially, you know, when you look at Red and Blue, like they basically were the tutorial, and then that's, you know, that was the main part of that game, and then they realized it's like, they're like, oh, there's way more to this.
Even in Gen 1, it's like trade with your friends, battle with your friends. Right. Like that's the point. You catch every Pokemon, not just to have every Pokemon, to be able to battle with every Pokemon. Yeah,
it just wasn't like, it didn't have as much of a ability to have a platform as it does now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they couldn't point you towards it quite in the same way. But we'll see. Carrying on. Low Rule Legend said, if Nintendo revealed a big new IP at their next Direct, which game genre would you want it to fall in? I've been hoping to see them invest in a big third-person action game similar to Zelda, but a new franchise. They have multiple 2D and 3D platformers, so I don't see why they can't also invest in another action-adventure game.
Great question. I agree with that. Like that, I think that's the front runner from anybody. I think like it doesn't even have to be a new IP. Star Fox.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Star Fox is right there.
Yep. Yeah, Star Fox. I mean, even like a Kid Icarus, you know, or like basically any character that they have that, Star Fox, Kid Icarus,
that fits that mold, that fits that
Captain Falcon, technically, you know. But yeah, I mean, if I'm not trying to just pick a different answer for the sake of it, which I can do as well, I would just say the same thing: a third-person action game.
It's like, I think my default, like if somebody just asks me like, yo, what kind of game do you want to play? Like it is either that or a fighting game, because I just like the same thing about the action. Like why I like Zelda or Breath of the Wild specifically so much is because there's so much to figure out about how the game works. I want to know. That is what drives me about playing pretty much all of the games that I play. Is like, I want to know how this game works, like on as deep a level as I possibly can. And those are the types of genres that allow for that. And then like they don't like, what I get back from it is rewarding to me. Like, because I guess on some level, like every game does that and you can get how it works. But when I understand how like Pokemon works, the battle system of that, right? I come back and I'm like, okay, so this is literally just rock, paper, scissors. And I get to answer what 2 + 2 is sometimes.
Right.
Like, that's not interesting to me. And that's why a lot of times I don't like RPGs and stuff like that. Cause it's like math is linear. Math has a definite answer that is always going to be the same thing. So if you give me the math problem and I solve the math problem one time, I'm going to be able to solve it every time. Just sometimes I'll have to take some extra steps, you know? Action adventure games and fighting games that are done well, that's not really the case. Like you can spend decades playing games like that, and like even with platformers, like with the Mario speedrunners and stuff like that, speedruns and stuff like that, you'll find new solutions forever if you really want to. So that's why I always default to that. But everything outside of that, like every genre beyond that, is like I'll know it when I see it. Like I'm down for whatever. I'm down to try whatever if they present it to me and it looks cool. But if I was given the keys and they were like, here's one game, it would be an action adventure game, I think.
Yep. My alternate answer is it would be bittersweet because it would have secondary meanings that I'd be sad about. But a big new like first party JRPG or like, you know, turn-based RPG from Nintendo, that would be great.
That's Golden
but
Sun,
it would
not Golden
it
Sun.
Would mean Golden Sun was probably not it. Yeah, I'd be sad about that because specifically I just like, again, the reason I like Golden Sun is because like typically Nintendo just does has a good way of finding something else to inject into a formula that already, Splatoon, it's a shooter, but also Ink, it's like that kind of thing. And like Golden Sun, I like the way that they add different new ideas into, but yeah, has puzzles and has like overworlds mechanics and spells and stuff like that, which is super neat. So all that said, like Octopath Traveler, for example, was fun and was great, but it like, and it did have an extra twist of having the different characters have different overworld things that they can do, and like different, like there was definitely something there. But yeah, I just love to see specifically Nintendo's take again on a JRPG. But I'd be sad because it wasn't Golden Sun. So that's where we're at. All right. Mega Man asked, did you guys look at the trailer for Hogwarts Legacy? What's your thoughts? Personally, I'm very excited. Looks like such a good looking game with a cool, unique story, which is coming to Switch, as it turns out, natively, which is also interesting. So there you go.
Is it? I don't know. I feel like people are.
I hadn't seen enough of it to know.
I looked at the state of play retroactively because everyone was like, this game, the Switch will blow up playing this game. And then I'll watch the trailer for this game, or the state of play, which is like, I guess a trailer technically, but you know, like the gameplay blowout for this video game. And I'm like, what about this game is like, so
yeah,
like,
from what I saw,
pretty standard, like
it feels like it can be pared down pretty easily, where like the textures aren't going to be as nice. There's going to be fewer particle effects on your spells and stuff like that. But, that kind of thing.
Also what Alex said, but I'm like, I don't know. I can't really speak to that for people because luckily, I guess I don't have to contend with that because I never cared about Harry Potter. So it is like, it would be like, it's kind of like the Activision thing, like what I said before when we were like, we're not talking about their games or whatever. That's so low ball of me to say because I don't care about their games. So it's so easy for me to be like, yeah, man, don't play Activision because screw them, because I don't give a crap. But like, it would be harder for me to like say that if it was like Pokemon,
right?
Like, yeah. Not to say I wouldn't still say that, but it's too easy for me to say like, don't buy this game because I don't care about Harry Potter. So no, I'm not going to play it. And partially it's because of the J.K. Rowling thing, but mostly because I just don't care about Harry Potter.
Yeah, I've never particularly cared about Harry Potter. My wife really likes it, and so yeah, I don't know. It's but I also don't think that she's going to care about the game either. And so yeah, the J.K. Rowling stuff complicates things. But I don't know. It just in general, like that's just a tricky thing because it feels like, what am I trying to say? Like, yes, this benefits her, but at the same time, it's like a whole separate, like, I also don't know that much or care that much about, I just as easily just ignore it. Basically, is what I'm saying.
I mean, I care that she's.
Oh no, yeah, I care on that front, but I don't care
like,
on the other side, is what I'm saying. I don't know.
If anything, like me, if I was in this position and I did care about Harry Potter, I would wait to buy the game used.
Yeah, right. Easy enough.
I would do that. But apart from that, it's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like,
yeah, it's what a crazy thing though, honestly, that like, I mean, I'm not saying crazy in a bad way, but just what a crazy thing that that one person can have such a strong impact on a whole franchise. I mean, obviously she made the franchise, so like it makes sense. But like it is interesting that like, they're obviously trying to move as far away from her as possible at this point, from the bits and pieces that I've seen.
Like, I don't know much about Harry Potter. Yeah. So like, I can just go based off of like what I've seen from other people in retrospect that are like picking this apart with the new information that she's a terrible person.
Right.
It's hard to remove what she made from her because who she is influenced what Harry Potter is even before we knew she was terrible. So like a lot of stuff about Harry Potter is kind of like, that's not not the greatest thing, like, and that's not the greatest allegory, and like, like that sort of stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's like, it's also like that there's a whole debate in like, okay, well, how much of what Harry Potter is belongs to the fan base, and like the
right,
that they drew from it, and so
yep. Yeah. I mean, I think like my closing thoughts on it are that it's one of those where it's like, yeah, there's just enough of the like general grossness or whatever that I also don't care about it enough that it's just easier, instead of trying to like have deep thoughts of my own, just kind of like stay away. And that, that's about it. So yeah, I know that's probably not a super like justifying response from if you're on either side of it and listening to this conversation or whatever. You probably don't feel particularly I don't know, happy about that response, but I apologize. That I'm just I'm only saying things about it because I was asked, basically, is what I'm saying. So there you go. But question from Alec. Hello, Alec. Said, how many times hitting a wall to discover a secret room is too many?
Once. More than once is too many times. Depending on the like in the scenario that I know you're alluding to. More than once is too many times. Because again, like I said in my response to Parker's retweet of this thing, nothing about that wall says I should probably hit that wall.
That's the thing. If there's some other indicator besides it breaking, then sure. Like,
like if the wall looks super beat up, or
or like it has a specific sound,
weapons next to it, or like that sort of thing, like environmental storytelling, which ironically FromSoft is usually pretty good at. And right here in that instance, it's terrible. And the thing that's funny is like, depending on how you feel about whatever the game is, like completely will determine whether you determine whether you try to justify it or not. Like, I think the like burning, like the trees that you burn in like the original Zelda, terrible, bad design, because it's just like, I'm gonna light this tree on fire, and exactly. Shoot, I unlocked something. But stuff like in Breath of the Wild with the like mist arrows near Kakariko Village. Like, oh, they tried to shoot this eyeball thing. I wonder what happens if I shoot this eyeball thing, and then you get rewarded for it. That had context. There's something in the game that the game didn't even have to tell you. And the thing is, like, if the game just straight up, like, you walk near the wall, and then freaking Elden Ring was like, maybe you should hit this wall. Good. Like, that's not the best way to do that, but at least they told you. If you're going to try to like make a secret and like do this like well-designed, like hidden secret situation, it's not a good secret unless there's context.
I think that's the thing, is like with this, the reason I said like I'm fine for it to be in there is because it is bad game design. But you know what, if the Elden Ring fans want to be like, all right, I'm hitting every wall 50 times, and that's like a fun exploration-y thing, like, cool, all the better for them, I guess. But it's bad game design for
it
sure.
Feels like Stockholm syndrome at that point, because like I don't know, there was literally, I tried watching that video multiple times. I was like, does it sound different? Does the wall like,
so that's the thing, there must be something about it, because otherwise how did, like, he hit the wall 46 times, somebody counted and put it in the comments. How would he have known to hit that wall 46 times? Like, there, you know what I mean? Because like, even just for like, that,
I don't know, data mining.
Maybe,
like stuff like I think that it's a lot easier to find stuff like that now that people have the tools that they do, and like how accessible,
like a mod
like,
and stuff,
the code is and all that. Like being able to like see through the wall, boundary break type of stuff,
So
I don't know.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, it seems poorly designed to me.
And that definitely, like, that was my point in the tweet too, of like comparing that to Metroid Dread thing, was like the Metroid Dread one was sure at worst it's a little obtuse if you're doing stuff wrong. Like the guy, did you watch the video of the guy?
I saw that.
It's like
he's
does not
just
know
across
how
the board. Like even removed from that, he is generally a tool. So
but like one of the main things with this game is that you can use the right analog stick to aim, and that I did it the whole game, and it was great. And he was not doing that. He was doing the Mega Man jump and shoot situation, or like try to like aim with your left stick while you kind of run a little bit and stuff. And that was terrible. And so that was the only reason that he wasn't able to find that thing, was he didn't pay attention in the tutorial on how to actually use the controls for the rest of the game.
Right. And even if you don't watch, see, the thing is, like, again, if it's just a tutorial in the year of our Lord 2022, and it's like, do this thing, that's bad design. But the fact that they're contextually, there's if they want you to shoot a wall, like especially in this instance, like the early part of the game or whatever, there's an enemy up there, and he's shooting at you. So it's like, oh shoot, he's shooting at me, he's trying to get me, I want to get him, and you try to shoot him, the wall breaks. And then it's like, oh shoot.
I mean, and I think with me in general, like if I'm playing a game and it's like, man, I wish that I could free aim, like I just wish I could stand and free aim, then I'll press all the buttons until I feel like really there's no free aim kind of thing, you know, like it'll just happen, or at least go into like the menu and look like, is there a thing? Because there, you know, even if I missed the tutorial or whatever, which I think that was the case in this game, was I missed it or something and then went into the menu and was like, oh, there it is. Okay, so just hold down this button, and that was like 5 minutes into the game. So that was just so ridiculous. But again, so my main point was like, as long as like be happy about this thing, if you want to, that's great for Elden Ring. Like if you want literally to have to hit every single wall as many times you want, cool, have fun. But you can't complain about the Metroid Dread thing as well. Like that, those have to, you know, like
the thing is, like, you can like bad design and that's fine. That's totally cool. There's plenty of games that I like that are poorly designed Pokemon. But at least I admit that it's bad.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like all the Elden Ring fans that I know are on the opposite end of it, where they're like defending it. It's like, oh, this is good. Like, actually, it's good because this, and that. It's like, nah, it's poorly designed, and that's fine. You feel like a game that's poorly designed. It's okay.
Yep.
Just be honest about it.
Yep. Yeah. It's like if you like tripping in Smash Brawl, you know,
you're an idiot.
I don't know. That was the first example that came to mind.
Right? That's what
Get out of here, you idiot.
See, the thing is, like, you can still trip in Ultimate, and it's very dumb.
Really?
RNG, because there's just certain moves that sometimes they trip, like Donkey Kong's down tilt, like something.
Why did I know it was going to be Donkey Kong? Like, I don't know.
He's just the first example that came to mind because that's like something that happens a lot in like Smash content, you know, like the like top players that are mostly content creators. Like a running bit for a lot of them is like they'll play a random character in like Elite Smash for like what they call Iron Man challenges, which is winning with every character in the game at least once without dropping a game.
Wow.
On Elite Smash. And like they'll do down tilt with Donkey Kong and it won't trip, or it will trip, and they'll be like, oh, my Donkey Kong main, because I got the trip. Mains get the trip more often.
Yeah. That's really funny.
It's true.
Yep. There it is. And I think that's anything else for the podcast?
No,
today?
I think that's it. What's the sign off?
To tomorrow, so Sunday, go over to Nintendo Life. We won't tell you the content because but we talked to Xeon and that was fun. So that'll be up, should be on Sunday.
It's true.
There you go.
Good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friend about the podcast. About
sign off question is just an easy one for today. Coffee, tea, or other hot beverage? Let us know below.
What's your answer?
Yeah.
Mine's tea.
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Between the tea.
I literally got tea before the thing that we did was yawn.
Yeah.
Parker was like, all right, I'm ready. I was like, okay, I want tea. And I got tea.
Indeed.
Okay.
There it is. Good job, everybody.
Thank you for listening or watching.
Yeah.
Do things. Goodbye.
Bye.